to another Telly Talks. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been on this couch and actually recorded an actual video. So this video is long overdue, but let's just get straight into it. Okay, first things first, just a life update about me, and a lot's been going on, good things of course, but a lot of transitions have been taking place, and I remember mentioning in one of my other previous videos about like just juggling a new job and everything like that. So a lot has changed after that, and I'm so grateful to God because, for a long time I felt like I was the underdog. I felt like I was the one who would work all these jobs and not really make much, and I had a degree and I had the experience, and I was always like, why am I getting these jobs that not really trying to pay me? Or, if I'm willing to grow in the company, they're not really trying to hire me on board. They just want to keep me as a temp because of course it's cheaper for the organization. They keep you as a temp as opposed to hire you full time. So, doing these different jobs and just internalizing it, I was just like, questioning myself at some point, like, am I not good enough? I did what I had to do. I went to college, I got a degree, all the stuff that they teach you to do after you graduate from high school. And I'm just like, why is it not working? Why am I not seeing it? But, I just had to realize that, God will move you step by step. Like, he will order your steps. He will order your steps, and sometimes that means you have to go a little bit slower than others. That's why it's so important not to compare yourself to other people, not to look around, because of course you will begin to question yourself if you continuously look at other people and what they're posting, or just about what you're hearing. Sometimes your friends, family members can say, oh, I got this job, I got this new car, I bought this house, and then sometimes will make you feel inadequate and make you feel like, well, dang, like, why do my life feel stagnant? Why have I not seen any growth or any movement? And a lot of times it's just God ordering your steps. Sometimes, even if we genuinely want something, I believe He knows, like, if we can handle it in that moment. So sometimes He don't bless us right away because He know we mishandled the blessing. So I said all that to say was, I used to question myself about the jobs and just money and just being able to be financially good. I want to have like generational wealth and eventually become an entrepreneur, and just have the finances where I'm not struggling, where I'm not looking for paycheck to paycheck, which I thank God I never had to, but just this simple idea of wanting more, and knowing that I could have more if I have, the stability or the finances or whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish or get. And so, there were times I would look at friends and family or people on social media and just be like, okay, when is my time going to come? When am I going to get the job? When am I going to get the opportunity? When am I going to, get the partner or whatever like that? And so I think more so last year, I really dig deep into my relationship with God, and that is just where He allowed me to be at peace and be content and where in the space that I was in, and just, be grateful for where I was and what I did have. Because if I compare myself to somebody else, if I stack my life up to somebody else's, they will gladly, be happy with the things that I have. And so I just had to change my mindset, change my frame of thought and how I move and how I think about things. And, if I don't get the job, it's not a rejection towards me. It's just some redirections. It's just God wanting to give me something better, something bigger. If, you know, this person or this relationship didn't work out, it wasn't a rejection towards me. God knew down the line that this wouldn't be a fit. And so a lot of times I think we question ourselves when we say, why me? And um, what is wrong with me? You always think negatively, like, what did I do? What is wrong with me? And there's nothing wrong with you. It's just God wanting you to, it's something He's trying to get out of you, but it's also Him knowing the steps that you take, and knowing that, when He do bless you with this good thing, that you won't mess it up or you won't destroy it, and that He's equipped you with the tools and the character, to be able to handle the blessing that He wants to give you, because God don't want to hold any good thing back from His children, but He also don't, as a good father, He wants to give you good things. But if He knows that you are not mature enough to handle it at that moment, then that wouldn't be a good thing, for Him to do in that moment. And so I was on my previous job for 3 months, and though it was a little challenging, I embraced it. Like I said, I just gave it to God. I was like, okay, I'm here for a reason, and I met some great people there. And I just said, I'm going to do what I need to do here, and when God wants to move me, then I'm ready to go, And so I had to change my thought, because when I first went in, I went in with this mindset like, oh God, here we go again, another temp job, doing all this work, I'm barely making any real money, or this environment is cool, but people being petty. It's always something, it's always something at a particular job or whatever that you feel like you come in contact with. And so in the beginning, it was a little bit challenging, but then, like I said, I just kind of like sucked it up and just started doing it, and started embracing it, and start saying, well, thank God I have a job, because 6 months ago I didn't have a job, I wasn't working. So I just had to begin to really like look towards the good things, look at the good things that I did have, and stop comparing myself to other people, and stop being distracted, and just take myself out of it, and just do what I had to do. And so out of nowhere, this particular job, it hit me up through email, but it hit me up before. This was like months and months ago. It contacted me about another position, and I was interested in it at that time, and I thought we were trying to go through the process, but I don't know, something didn't work out, something didn't happen. And so when I seen this job again reach out to me, I was like, okay, y'all reached out to me about the same job before, so why y'all reaching out to me now when y'all didn't say nothing back then? So I was like, whatever, let me just see what they talking about. So I was like, what can I lose? I already got a job, so it's not like if I was to look into this other job that I'll be losing anything. So I responded to the email, and they went through the same process that I did in the very beginning when I first got, contacted. And first I thought it was a scam, because what they were offering me, I was like, I feel like I'm worth it, but I ain't never seen this much. I just, part of me didn't feel like I was worth it, if I'm being honest, because I'm like, I work all these jobs and I seen only a certain amount, so I kind of like equated that to my worth. And then when I seen this, I was like, well, dang, like, hello, like, dang, do I even deserve this? And and God just told me, for your patience, for your maturity, for all the time and all the effort and the stuff and just doing the things that you didn't want to do, being faithful in that thing. I believe God was wanting to open up bigger and better doors for me now that I'm a little bit more mature enough to receive the blessing and to know um, what this means, and just, you know, all those other jobs being a teachable moment for me to be able to learn, to either whether it's working on my patients or whether it's working with certain type of people with different backgrounds and mindsets and personalities, or whether, you know, he was just teaching me how to do my job and what specifically he wanted me to learn along the journey. And so when I responded to the email, there was good feedback, even so far as to get set up with the interview, which I didn't have that opportunity the first go around. And so I had the interview and I felt great about it because it wasn't like, it felt interrogation. It didn't feel like, okay, ask me all these questions. It was more so like a dialogue between the both of us, and she was really like chill. And so I got a good vibe from her. But again, you know, I didn't want to get my hopes up too high because, again, like I said, I went through this process before with the same job, and I was just like, I don't want to, you know, I felt good about everything that was happening, but I also didn't want to get too excited because I'm like, what if it, you know, it falls through like before? So I had an interview, and the lady, she said she'll contact me on a Tuesday because it was, I think we did our interview Thursday or Friday, one of those days. And she said she'll contact me on the following Tuesday because she had to interview like another person, I think that Monday. And so I was like, okay, cool, whatever, like that. So Tuesday came, I didn't hear nothing. Wednesday came, I didn't hear nothing. By Thursday, I ain't on front. Like, I was a little bit like, you know, I kind of just got discouraged in that moment. I was like, here we go again. You know, I'm going through this whole process all over again. And then silence, ghost, nothing, no result, no moving forward, no nothing. And so I was just like, whatever, you know. At the end of the day, I got a job, so whatever. So Friday morning come, I get a job. I get a text from the temp agency who I'm going through. And they say, hey Chantel, we have some good feedback about the job. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, give me a call or something, like either give him a call or he's gonna call me. So mind you, I'm at my other job and I'm like trying to be discreet and not answer the call. And he's like, so he ended up calling, telling me, you know, the lady, she chose me and asked me when can I start and tell me how much I'm gonna make and the amount. Cause at first he was like, how much do you want to pretty much like start at? And I always told myself the next job I get in, I'm not settling for 20 something dollars. Like, it's going to be $35 and more, $35 or more. And if it's not $35 or more, I don't want it. And so that was kind of like my minimum, or maybe even my highest, like I was willing to be okay in. And so the original amount that was quoted, it actually got changed to even more. He said, yeah, so we negotiated with the company, and they're actually going to pay you this much instead. So I'm like wanting to scream, but mind you, I'm at my other job, so I'm not trying to be extra, you know. So he kind of like alluded to the fact that he was like, you're not happy? Like, he was saying something like, isn't that great? Like, you ain't saying much. And I'm just like, yes. Like, you know, I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. So I'm like, yes, this is great. And thank you so much. You know, just being like super happy inside, but not trying to be, you know, show it too much. And so he asked me when can I start, and I was like, I do want to give, you know, the people that I'm working with now the proper ending. And I think on a professional level, 2 weeks is a good time frame to kind of tell a job like you moving on with something else so they can replace you, or at least be aware and give them a heads up of any project she was working on. And so that's kind of what I did. I don't want to leave because I am gonna be honest, like it was very weird because like towards the end of my job, and I didn't know it was ending in that moment or at that time, but I was starting to embrace it. I was just like, Lord, this is where you put me. I'm just gonna do the job and just try to come in here with a positive attitude, with a positive mindset, despite how I feel. And I know that he brought me there for a reason because I met so many great people and we connected, and people were just telling me their stories or they'll vent to me. And it's just like, this is why I'm here. Like, this is why God has me here. And so, I kind of just embraced it, and it became like I was starting to like it. And then as I was starting to like it, I also had to let them know, like, hey guys, I'm not gonna be here anymore. So it was kind of like bittersweet in that moment, because when you start getting comfortable and you just begin to like something, you just realize, like, okay, reality check, you gotta tell them bye because you're moving on to something else. And I had one coworker, well, she wasn't like, we didn't work directly with each other, but I was telling her a little bit about it, and she was just like, well, don't stay here because of us. Because I was like, y'all so nice. And, I grew to like y'all and the company and everything. She was like, don't stay here for us. Like, girl, do what's best for you. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's another thing. Like, sometimes I don't think about like doing what's best for me and knowing my worth and knowing that I do deserve this and I do deserve this opportunity. I do have the experience, and I do have the degree, even though they wasn't really even looking for all that. They was just more so looking for the experience, which I do have. Excuse me. And so, it was just mind blowing, honestly, is to see where I was 6 months ago. I was unemployed. During the midst of this time, I wasn't working. Luckily, I was working out because that really helped my mental. It didn't put me in a state of depression or anything like that. So that really helped. But, even in that moment, I was like, Lord, I'm applying to all these jobs. I'm not hearing nothing back from anybody. Like, my unemployment is about to end. I need to get some money. So it was just crazy to see how God moved, looking back over just 6 months ago, like where I was to where I'm at now. And even the temp job that I had before, I was there for 3 months, and I literally got hired maybe a month after my employment ran out. So I had employment. I've been saving. And then, my unemployment stopped, and I had 1 month. I had to cover it myself, which thankfully I had the money to do so. Then that next month, this temp job was calling me and saying like, hey, we have this opportunity, blah, 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 blah. And of course, at that time, I'm just like, yeah, I want to negotiate, but I need a job right now. So it's kind of one of those things. But just looking back and seeing how God like ordered my steps, and that's why I wanted to share this story, because it's just seeing how God will order your steps. Like, we don't know what's ahead of us. We don't know like why we get chose or even don't get chose for certain things, because it's all working out for our good. When the words say all things work together for your good, that is facts, because though we might not know what's ahead of us, God knows what's ahead of us. He knows what we need in that moment. He knows what we don't need, and he don't want to give something to us that he knows that we're not prepared for, we're not ready for, we're not mature enough for it. And he also wants to see how you will handle something small. Basically test you and to see like if you will be diligent and faithful to this thing. And then if you are, he will be able to order your steps and open up more opportunities and more doors and stuff like that. And so, you know, I got a new car, and that was another thing. Like I was just reckless with it. I'm not even gonna, cause got to this point where I'm just like, Lord, I trust you, you know, because I've seen him prove himself time and time and time again in my life. And I can attest that no matter what I face, no matter what I go through, he's always there. And I was working a temp job that I was very uncertain about, that I didn't really like that. And my car, it was acting up, and had been acting up for a while. So I finally made a move to get a new car. And then I remember some of my family members like, well, why did you do that? Your car was already paid off. Now you about to go pay for this car. And so that kind of made me like second guess, like, dang, did I make the right decision? But then I had to say, you know what? God is in control. And if I have, if I have the ability to get it, then obviously this is something that, I should be okay in. And so, it's just like transitioning from that job to now this new job, which I'm still trying to get accustomed to, that I literally just started. Navigating a new car that I've been in for about a month now, and just navigating life. Like, my weight has gone up. It's good, healthy weight, but it's also not so good, healthy weight. And it's just a lot of changes that has taken place, and a lot of things that I recognize and I realize that I want to change for the better. A lot of things that I recognize and I give reverence to God, because there's no way I never seen myself, I never seen this. I never seen me in this position. If you would have told me you be at this job making this, or that you would have a new car, and I was just unemployed 6 months ago, I would be like, you lying, because I'd never seen this. I never had this in my mind. I knew I wanted more. I knew I wanted to do better, and I can see it. I seen it before. I seen it, but I didn't think I would see it like right now in this moment. And so I'm just here to share my story, because I want to help bless anybody that feeling discouraged, anybody that feels like, well, dang, like, when is my time going to come? Just hold on to your faith. Know that God is ordering your steps, and his will for your life is the perfect will. It's nothing I can ever, like, I have so much peace. I have so much joy. Yes, there's things I still need to work on. Yes, there's certain things I still want to change, but overall, my life is great. My life is great. And I'm just happy to see what's going to happen next. I'm just like, God opened one door, and I'm just like, well, dang, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, what you want to do next? I'm kind of like, now I'm anticipating what he wants to do. And I'm kind of, I'm just like, okay, God did that. God did that. So what he going to do next? Like, because I know he going to up his game every time. And I'm just waiting to see, like, when he going to make a move. But in the meantime, between time, I'm going to embrace all of this and just be grateful and continue to be diligent, continue to work hard, continue to change the things I don't like, and just go from there. And so if you feeling like you stagnant, if you feeling like there's no movement, you feel like you've been working the same job or working these same type of jobs and you haven't really seen any change, just know that God sees you and he will move you when you're ready. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's something that you need to work on. Maybe it's your attitude. Maybe it's some more skills you need to get under your belt before he moves you to the next step. But regardless of what it is, he knows the plans for your life and he knows how to set that thing up where it's smooth and it's just comes out of nowhere when you're not even looking for it. Because this particular job that I'm currently in, I was not looking for it. Like I said, I seen it a long time ago and I entertained it back then, but didn't nothing happen and I just let it be. But God knows to turn that thing around, like when He see you faithful and He see you diligent in what you're doing, even when you don't like it, even when, you know, people are lying on you, even when you come into work and you doing your best and it just seems so stressful or so irritating, and it's things you don't understand and it's things that you want to change, but you can't do nothing about it but just do your job. And so if it's a job situation, if it's a relationship situation, if it's just life, period, just be still and continue to grind, continue to be faithful in the things that He do give you, and know that He sees you and He will order your steps and He will grant you all your heart's desires as long as you are obedient and you're faithful with the little things that He giving you now. And so just keep that in mind, you know, when you go into that discouraging mindset, because it happens. We are human. We all compare ourselves at some point. We all think about where we are and where we want to be and question certain things. We all go there, but don't sit in that, you know. You can have a moment because you're entitled to have a moment, but don't sit in that moment, because that moment then become depression, and then it will become comparison, and then it will steal your joy, and now you no longer have peace, no longer have joy, and you no longer want to live because you feel like you don't have nothing to live for. So before it goes down this dark spiral of thoughts, negative thoughts, don't even give it that momentum. Don't even feed it, you know, with those lies from the enemy. And just know that God sees you and He wants the best for you and He will give you the best. Just be faithful and be grateful for what you have now, because if you can be grateful with the little things and the things you have now, He will definitely God wants to give us good things. So He wouldn't hold any good thing back from His children. So just be blessed and keep in mind that He loves you and He sees you. And I will talk to you guys on another Telly Talks. Be encouraged.